Hey folks, how we doing? It's Mr. Carter here, ready to help you with Fluency and Skills Practice lesson 27.2, and this one is comparing decimals in tenths and in hundredths. So go ahead and put your name on this if you haven't yet, and let's begin. Alright, so it's asking you here to write this symbol, less than, greater than, or equal to, that makes each statement true and show your work. So here, what we're going to do is I like a place value chart. It helps me visualize this and line up my numbers. So that's what I did here on the whiteboard. So for this one, it's 10 hundredths, and we're comparing it to 1/10, right? So here's my place value chart with my decimal. So I have my ones, tenths, and hundredths, right? So for both of them, we don't have any ones. So it's 0.10, and that's 10 hundredths. And then here we have 0.1, which is 1/10. Now, so again, we start with our largest place value, which in this case it's the ones. So we have 0 ones. And then for both of these, we have 1/10. And then, so again, since we don't have any, this is like equal in value, we go to our hundredths place. And here we have a 0, right, calling it 10 hundredths. But here we don't have anything, right? So it's just as good as putting a 0 here, right? So we don't have a 0, but we can put a 0. And as you can see, these are equal, right? So 10 hundredths is equal to 1/10. That one, you can see here, is equal to. All right, so let's look at this next one. We have 9 hundredths and 1/10. So another way to do it is to just put them as a fraction, right? So here is 9 hundredths, and this is 1/10. So now these are different denominators, right? We have hundredths and tenths, so it's harder to compare. But what we can do is take this tenths and make it hundredths. So we can go 10 times 10, and then whatever you do at the bottom, you got to do to the top, right? So 1 times 10 is 10, and 10 times 10 is 100. All right. So we have 9 hundredths and 10 hundredths, right? So it's really close, but as you can see, we have one less hundredth here, so that makes it less than, right? Because 9 hundredths is less than 10 hundredths. And if you want to use the place value chart, if that's a strategy that works better for you, you can do that as well. So you have 0 ones, and then again for 9 hundredths, it looks like this, right? 0.09 is 9 hundredths, and then 0.1 is 1/10, right? So as you can see, again, we start with our largest place value, which is the ones, and it's 0. Then we go to our next, which, okay, so we have 0/10ths and 1/10. So this one is a little bit less than this one, right? Because we have 1/10 here and we have no tenths here. So again, this kind of shows you that this number 1/10 is a little larger than 9 hundredths. All right, let's do one more together. So we have 11 hundredths. Again, if you like to write it as fractions, it would look like this. And then again, you have 1/10, right? Well, as you can see from the last problem, these are the same decimals, so we can use this again. We have 10 hundredths, so this 1/10 is the same as saying 10 hundredths. So 11 hundredths is just a little bit greater than 10 hundredths. So it's going to be greater than. And again, if you want to put it on your place value chart, it will look like this. All right, so again, 0 ones, and we have 11 hundredths. Yeah, 11 hundredths. And then over here we have 1/10. Okay, so again, you start with your greatest place value, you have 0, and then you go to your tenths, and these are equal, so that means you need to go to your hundredths. And over here we have 1 hundredth, and we don't have any hundredths here, so we could put a 0 to help us compare. And you could see that we have one more hundredth than in the 11 hundredths than we do with 10 hundredths. So this makes it greater than. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try the rest on your own, see how you do with those, and then we'll come back to check it. All right, welcome back. Let's look at number 2 here. So we have 4/10ths and 40/100ths. Now another strategy I want to show you is when you have a tenth, you can just add a 0 and make it hundredths, and that would make it easy to compare. And I'll show you how to do that with these few. So here you have 4/10ths, and now what you can do to make it a hundredths is just go 0.4 and add your 0. Okay, so 40/100ths is the same as 4/10ths. And as you can see, 40/100ths is equal to 40/100ths. And if you did that over here, again, 0.4 is 4/10ths, but when you add a 0, it becomes 40/100ths. And then as you can see, 40/100ths is greater than 39/100ths. So it kind of makes it a little easier to compare when you do that. So again, 4/10ths is less than 45/100ths. Let me zoom out here for a second. All right, number 3 is 12/100ths is greater than 1/10. 26/100ths is less than 3/10. 7/10ths is greater than 70/100ths. Now let me do, so this one can be a little tricky because if you're looking at it very quickly, you can see, oh, 7 and 7, they're equal, right? But remember that the place value matters. So here, if we did the little trick where we add a 0, you would see that this is 70/100ths, and then you would only have, 7/100ths here. So there's a lot more hundredths here, so that's why it's greater than. 19/100ths is less than 2. And this also can be tricky, a type of problem like this with if you're a kid that kind of looks at things quickly and goes, okay, 19 and 2, right? Well, yeah, 19, if we didn't have it as a decimal, would be greater than 2, but in this case, again, so it would be 19/100ths and then 20/100ths, right? So this one just is a little bit larger. Okay, so number 7 is greater than, 8 is also greater than, 9 is equal to, 10 is greater than, 11 is less than, 12 is greater than, 13 is less than, and 14 is less than. All right. So I went through these quickly, but if you do have questions, reach out to your teacher about any of these, right? So let's look at number 15. It's asking you to choose a problem and describe the model that you could draw to justify your answer to problem. So I chose number 12, which was 43/100ths is greater than 3/10ths. So what I did is I just drew some place value blocks, and here is one that's represented by 43/100ths, right? And then here is 3/10ths. And you can see that 43/100ths is a little greater than 3/10ths. And explain how you answered problem 11. Well, 11 up here was 2/10ths and 21/100ths. So what I did is I did the add a 0 strategy where I took 2/10ths and I made it 20/100ths by adding a 0. And then you could see that 20/100ths, now that they're both hundredths, you can compare them, right? So 20/100ths is less than 21/100ths. All right, that's it for now. Again, like I said, reach out to your teacher if you have any questions, and take care.